What is going on, everybody? How you doing today? My name is Jim Games and I react to videos on the internet. And in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to the scariest videos on TikTok that cannot be explained. These are the videos that a lot of people have seen. Nobody knows if they're real or if they're fake. And we're going to do a deep dive into these videos today and we're going to see if we can come to some sort of conclusion ourselves. If you're new around here, please consider liking and subscribing. I do this sort of thing all the time, and I love having you here with me. Also, before I begin, I got a couple of really important links got to tell you about real fast. Before we start, one is our community Discord. Best way to get in contact with me and join the community of just fans. We also have our Twitch link down there as well. We do live reaction shows every Wednesday and periodically throughout the week, so check out those two links. Trust me, you don't want to. All right, let's switch screens and let's get right on into this, all right? So, scary TikTok videos that can't be explained. All right, here we go.
How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at some scary TikTok videos that can't quite be explained. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content just like this.
Oh boy. I probably should have warned everybody. I don't do good. I don't like scary stuff. And I'm alone.
TikTok user 5UP3R5WA66N3AL loves her 3 dogs.
That's a unique username right there.
So she decides to make a short video showing her beloved pooches as they relax late one evening. She didn't anticipate to record one of the scariest TikTok videos that would capture the site's attention. As she records her pets, 2 of her dogs are calm, cool and collected. But one of the pets seems to have spotted something unusual. The video shows the pooch staring down the dark hallway adjacent to the room.
Yeah, ready to go to bed myself. What the f is that?
At first, nothing seems unusual. However, a few seconds later, the woman recording the video notices something odd as well.
What the f is that? Oh, God!
There is a dark doorway just beyond the entrance to the room.
No.
In the darkness of the hallway, a shadowy figure is barely visible peeking out from the doorway.
What is that? What?
Oh my God.
It's
All
difficult.
right. I wasn't expecting it to jump. This one's creepy for a couple different reasons. You know, I mean, all these videos could be, you know, fake. You know, it's fairly easy to do with some creative editing. There's obviously a shadowy figure right over here. You can kind of see him in frame right now. He's got a bit of a hat on, it looks like almost. It's very humanistic looking. But honestly, what's doing it for me in this video, what's like kind of giving me creeps, is just how interested in how alert this dog is. As you may or may not know, when the dogs have its tail straight up like that, it is at full alert. It sees something. It has its eye on something. It's basically letting whoever's there and the owner know, hey, there's something happening over here without barking. So a lot of times dogs are trained not to bark and things like that. That's what they do. They're like, just tail goes straight up. So that means it's seeing something. It's interested in something. A stranger. There's something to be alert about right here. And this dog is looking directly at it. Now, this isn't a dog with this sort of stance and just looking off and like down the hall. This wouldn't be a stance that a dog would make if it was like, you know, the husband or a family member or somebody that lived in the house, just seeing them. The tail would be wagging, the tail would be down, it'd be more relaxed. This dog is in full alert right now and it's just looking right there. And that's what's like giving this video a bit more authenticity for me. It's creepy too, the way this thing kind of comes out. I'm not noticing any pixelization off the sides of the edges. That's one way to quickly tell if a video is fake, if you kind of zoom in a little bit and check out the edges of the image and see if it's been superimposed on there somehow. A lot of times you get pixeling on the outside of the edges. I'm not seeing any of that. Everything looks very real and cohesive as to how lighting would be. You know, a lot of times these fake things, they have drop lighting somewhere else where you can tell, okay, well, why is this room professionally lit? I'm not seeing any of that. This just looks like a regular everyday living room where a dog is getting intrigued by something. It noticed something. And yeah, it's creepy.
To see, but the figure appears to be a tall, human-shaped entity.
Yeah.
Though only the top of its body is visible in the doorway.
I gotta come out.
The creature becomes easier to see a few seconds later when it suddenly pulls itself back into the room it's peeking out from, quickly rushing to hide again in the darkness of the nearby room.
Bed myself. What the f is that? What? Oh, God!
The woman recording the video is clearly terrified when she sees...
You know, one cool thing about this video too, and just the animal aspect of it that I'm just noticing when they they played a little bit more of it when the shadowy figure disappeared. The dog's tail is starting to like get a little bit more friendly. You know, dogs can read people. They say that dogs know good people and bad people. They don't want to associate with bad people. And they supposedly can just see and sense other beings and spirits and things like that. And it seemed like the general attitude of the dog was kind of friendly, kind of curious, definitely intrigued as to why they were there. But there's no growling. There's nothing like that. The dog didn't feel threatened in any way, even though there was an outsider in the home. So this leads me to believe that possibly maybe there was a spirit there. It was real. And the dog is just basically realizing, okay, this being or this spirit or whatever this is doesn't mean us any harm if it's real. So if this is a real video, that's a funny little fascinating tidbit right there. Just the relationship of the animal with the spirit is very fascinating just to me.
Sees the shadowy figure move to hide itself. She yells out in shock and terror.
Is that? What? Oh God!
A moment later, the video cuts off abruptly, so no one has any idea what happened after the camera stopped rolling.
Here's the thing. Do you go and check after? Do you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like she had or it looked like too that she's holding this camera over in the area. She got startled by it and jumped just like I did, but it didn't seem like she stood up or anything, and the video just kind of cuts off. I mean, like, part of me would be like, all right, let's go check out what that is. But then the other half of me would be like, oh man, I don't know if I want to go over there. This happens sometimes even in my house. My dog will just like start looking down the hall and just be on alert and start growling and barking at absolutely nothing. And I think, okay, well, maybe they're hearing a neighbor or something. And that could be the case, but it's always freaked me out whenever my dog is like looking at nothing and like on high alert. And I'm like, what do you see that I don't see right now? It fascinates me, the relationship of spirits and animals. I'd love to learn more. That's creepy. That's a creepy one. For sure.
At Alex Huff is a TikTok user who decided to use the social networking app to try her hand at one of the most popular types of video that the site offers, makeup tutorials.
Oh, okay.
Tutorials don't usually fall into the category of scary TikTok videos, but this particular makeup demonstration isn't your typical tutorial. She sits in front of her camera and begins discussing the makeup brand that she'll be demonstrating. Just as she gets ready to begin applying the makeup, she suddenly freezes, her eyes wide in disbelief and terror.
She sees it.
She can obviously see herself in her monitor as she makes her video, because she seems to have noticed that the closet doors behind her have begun to slowly creak open.
I'm gonna try that on, and
She's clearly disturbed by the unexplained movement.
Oh.
She bravely stands up and walks over to the closet to check inside for any possible explanation. However, as soon as she touches the doors, the light above her head suddenly goes out.
No.
She lets out a terrified yelp and backs away quickly from the doors for a moment, staring at the darkened light fixture on the ceiling.
That's terrifying. Yeah.
It only takes a few seconds for her to regain.
See, I'm surprised. This is what I'm talking about. Like, something creepy happens behind you, and do you go in and investigate? Is that your first thing you want to do, or do you just like sit there and be like, what is happening, and try and figure things out? She gets right up and she goes right over to the door. Hey, why is this thing opening? I mean, maybe she's got an animal, maybe there's a cat back there possibly that she thought of, so she's going to check on. But the door creaked open. Okay, that could be from a cat walking out of a closet. You know, we've all seen stuff like that. But the way that this thing slammed shut and the amount of force it took to slam this door shut actually opened up the right door as well, because it's like a French door type thing. There's two of them put together. And I was looking too, because an easy way to tell if something like this is fake, if they're being slammed shut or whatever, is they'll have stuff like they'll use fishing line or they'll use a rope or string or whatever, and they'll have it on the outside of the door. But to do that, you're going to need a good amount of force to slam it shut. Now, this looks like a fairly shallow closet as well. It looks like there's no real places to kind of like hide back here where you'd have a hand come and pull it, or have somebody back there working a string or something. I don't see anything like that, and it's shut with a lot of force. However, we're not seeing underneath the bed here, the frame over here, so possibly there could be somebody down here just pulling it and slamming it back and forth from this angle. The light, who knows, could be somebody flickering the lights. But what's interesting about this to me is that she gets up right away and she goes to investigate. Let's take this one back here a little bit, because this is creepy.
Staring at the darkened light fixture on the ceiling.
Oh.
It only takes a few seconds for her to regain her courage and continue to investigate. She opens the closet doors wide, revealing nothing out of the ordinary on the other side of the doors.
It's got built-ins.
She gets another shock a moment later when the light inside the closet inexplicably goes out. This third incident is apparently too much for her to handle.
Nope.
She quickly turns back towards the camera, muttering nope,
Nope.
under her breath repeatedly.
Nope, she just nopes out of that situation. She's like, nope, that's too much for me. That's kind of what I was getting at. At what point do you stop investigating something that's creepy that's happening to you and just nope the F out? And that was a moment for her. She went back to check on it. Could have been an animal, maybe. The way the door slammed shut, I mean, I could understand getting up to go and check and make sure your animal's okay. But it's creepy all around. Once a light started flickering, at that point, I probably would have been like, you know what? Let's just step out of this room for a second. Light some sage or something, I don't know. But she continues to investigate until that light on the inside of the closet goes out, and then she nopes the F out. She just gets out of there. And I can't blame her. I cannot blame her.
Cuts off the video.
But there's a couple ways to tell if something like this could be true. If she's a reputable YouTuber or whatever, you can go and just check out her other content. If she's got a million more makeup tutorial videos before and after this one video, then I'd say there's something to it. But if she's got one video out there and it's this one on her YouTube channel with no other makeup tutorials, then we could probably safely say this is probably BS. So if anybody knows, that probably answers your question.
Feed. Most likely preparing to flee from the room to escape whatever entity has been causing these bizarre happenings. One of TikTok's most popular features is the setting that allows users to add popular music to their videos, letting anyone create their own music video. These videos are usually silly, but some users have managed to make unexpectedly scary TikTok videos.
Oh, yeah?
User @BillyGolf used the music feature to record a video dancing along to the music.
What's this guy doing?
Wearing a whimsical onesie, BillyGolf starts the video and then jumps onto a nearby counter to perform a dance. The room is dim, but we can see some of the features of the room, including a darkened doorway.
I love it. I love it. I don't care. I love it. It's freaking hilarious. The TikTok kids out there, they're just getting out there and they're just dancing. They're just dancing. This guy seems to be alone in his house or apartment in a onesie. Full-grown man jumps up on the counter, starts dancing, which is laying down some amazing moves for nobody. It pleases me to no end just to know that there's random strangers out there by themselves just dancing for no reason right now to record it and put it out on the internet. And that's a thing. That amuses me. It makes me so happy. Let's continue, because something messed up's going to happen here. Something's going to happen with behind this guy or something.
Way towards the back of the room.
Look at these moves.
It's this doorway that eventually reveals something terrifying. As the
he's dropping it like it's hot
a
too.
Shadow seems to walk past the doorway.
Throwing some elbows.
It appears human in size and shape. However, the most unusual thing about the shadow is that it appears to be transparent in color, yet clearly visible.
Where is it? Oh, I see it.
It looks almost like a human-shaped mist walking past the doorway.
Yeah, it's light.
As it passes, it appears to turn towards the camera for just a second before disappearing again.
All right, so there's one thing we've learned 100% from this video. One, ghosts do not care about content creators. They do not care about makeup tutorials. They do not care about random people dancing on TikTok. They've got ghost things to do. They got people to haunt and whatnot. You can kind of barely see it. I missed it. I was entranced by these movements from the gentleman up here, the performer, they call him. Just rocking the F out on the counter that I missed the guy walking by a couple times. But yeah, you can kind of see the outline of it. It does look like it's basically like the shape of a human possibly. And he just kind of walks by and glances over in the general direction being like, what the hell is that? But is really unfazed by the whole thing because we'll call it the ghost, doesn't seem to slow down its movements. It just seems to generally just kind of glance in that area and doesn't really give a second thoughts and continues to do whatever it's doing. Creepy.
Unlike many of the other scary TikTok videos out there, this user doesn't appear to notice that anything strange has happened and continues dancing.
Ghosts don't care.
One thing's for sure, she must have been terrified when she finally
it's a
reviewed
chick.
the footage.
It's a girl. All right, I thought it was a guy.
@Tiengerines is another TikTok user who decided to shoot for internet fame by using the app's music feature to create a dance video that would hopefully go viral. This young user performs a fairly simple dance, a wide smile on her face, while the app provides background music to chance the rapper's song Groceries.
See, at least she's smiling. At least she's smiling when she's dancing. Every TikTok kid that I've seen do this, one, I'm not hearing the music that they're hearing. I don't know if they've got like in-ears or whatever. But they got this deadpan look on their face. She's smiling. She's having a good time. She's not just like dancing and looking bored as hell. It's the weirdest thing. So what's going to happen here? She's doing her TikTok dance as well. She's got some good moves.
Little does this young girl know, her video is about to end up in the category of scary TikTok videos. As the girl dances, we can see a portion of the house behind her.
Okay.
She dances in a well-lit room, but the space behind her is dim. One of the features of the house visible behind her is an upstairs hallway with a wooden banister and railing. The hallway is dark, but as the girl dances, something unusual takes place there. A few seconds into the video, a shadowy figure appears to walk quickly down the upstairs hallway.
Yeah.
It's only visible for a few seconds before disappearing
weird.
behind the wall once again. But
You know, all right, so there's a couple cool things about this video. And I'm no video, you know, I mean, I know a little bit about video editing and about like some of the trickery that would be going on to make something like this look real, and what sort of conditions they would, you know, put themselves in to make it look real. And you wouldn't limit yourself with this sort of condition. And what I mean by this is obviously you have the upstairs area. Now, this would be good for faking a video like this because you have depth. You have a character, or, you know, your main visual, which is up front, which is the girl that's dancing. Then you have the depth of the home behind her, and then even more of a depth with multiple layers, with multiple levels. Now, what's cool about this is there is a railing, you know, with different little bars right here through it. Now, you wouldn't really, if you superimpose something over it or behind it or over it, or if you superimpose anything right over here, essentially what's going to happen is the image is going to be masking over this railing, because you wouldn't go through each individual bar and to have a smooth transition to make it look like it's behind it like that with having the bars out front, unless you're using some sort of green screen. Which I guess could be done. It could be, I guess, but it just doesn't seem to be like that, just from like the lighting and the general look of this home. Like, this looks very fluid. This looks real. So basically what I'm getting at here is this would be kind of hard to fake because of the railing itself. And having it be behind it, if you were to impose an image on top of this video, because by doing so, it would obviously put it over the top. It'd be the top layer of this image. So you'd have to get it behind that railing to make it look real. Now, I'm not sure what kind of, she's probably using a cell phone. As you can see, the video quality is not the best. We're probably sitting at right around 720. If I had to guess, maybe a bit lower, but you can still see the railing here. You know, you still would have to account for the gap spaces and basically reanimate every individual 1/10 of 1 second, essentially, for each time it passes one of these little railings, because they're quite close together. So let's go back and check that out one more time, because I really want to focus on whether the ghost is actually over this railing or whether it's truly behind it and we can see the front of this thing as it's walking behind. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
It's only visible for a few seconds before disappearing behind the wall once again.
Because it is just a shadow. You know what I mean? It is just a shadow. There's no defining characteristics of, you know, like a fingers or color in skin or clothing that would have any pop. So I guess maybe it would be easier to do that with the railing right there. I guess you could make it a little bit more believable, but still creepy nonetheless. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. Not sure.
But during its brief appearance, we can clearly see it's a human-shaped figure.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's completely dark, looking too much like a shadow for any features to become
Yeah,
clear.
it's not lighting up those bars.
Its appearance is nonetheless terrifying.
I mean, they're washed out in the mix here. You know, it's definitely the colors, everything's bleeding together. So I guess it could be kind of easier to do. But this literally looks like it's a shadow on the back wall behind here, which maybe it is.
The TikTok user shared the eerie video of her dancing to Twitter, where it immediately took off. The tweet and video were viewed millions of times, even getting the attention of Chance the Rapper himself, who commented, "Hey, it's a ghost up there." The Twitter community were divided, with the usual calls of fake and hoax ringing out.
Yeah.
However, a lot of the comments were genuinely terrified, recommending the girl burn some sage and to call a priest immediately.
Call a priest too. That's awesome.
I'll throw this one out to the audience. What do you think this scary TikTok video has captured? Is it a prank for social media fame, or has it really captured something paranormal? Let me know what you think in the comments section below.
That's a crazy one.
Before we get to that number one spot and take a look at what has got to be the most terrifying TikTok videos ever filmed, remember to hit that subscribe button and tickle the bell icon. That way you'll be in the loop about all our creepy content. In a series of scary TikTok videos, user @security1275, a security guard working at a cemetery in Savannah, Georgia, terrified users of the social media app when he investigated unusual noises that he heard while working late one night among the dead. To make matters even more terrifying, not long after the footage was posted on TikTok, the user deleted all of the footage and abandoned his account on the site.
Okay.
After the night in question, his internet presence has practically ceased, leaving many to wonder what actually happened on that fateful night. In the first video, the security guard is stationed near one of the cemetery's mausoleums when he hears a strange noise. He states that it sounds like banging, so he most likely believes that he's dealing with a trespasser. Deciding that it's his job to investigate the sound, he approaches the creepy structure.
Bear with me, guys.
That's got to be one of the creepiest jobs ever. Can you imagine being a night security guard at a cemetery or something like that? Or a morgue?
As he approaches, the camera picks up what appears to be a mysterious person standing to the right of the building.
Oh. Whoa. What is that?
The guard doesn't seem to notice them, but many users have insisted the figure is there.
Yeah.
Bear with me, guys.
Yeah, how do you walk by that guy without even noticing him? That's very clearly, it's legs with sneakers and socks, and there's a lot of detail in it. Like, yeah, he's wearing like this doesn't look like a ghost, it looks like a person.
The guard doesn't seem to notice them, but many users have insisted the
You can kind of see it. Yeah, it looks like it's a younger guy with short sneakers, a black t-shirt. Like, it just looks like a person illuminated the way it would be illuminated through holding a cell phone camera kind of up like that. Guard doesn't seem to notice or really care. It could be another security guard, or it could be a valid argument for why this video might be fake. Now, we haven't seen it just yet, but there's already people in things in this video that he's not acknowledging. This isn't a shadowy figure or you know, the shape of a human. Like, that's a person right there.
figure is there.
He doesn't notice though, or doesn't address it at least.
Bear with me, guys.
He investigates further, heading inside the mausoleum. After a few seconds of exploring the building, the camera picks up another eerie sound. The voice of a child whispering a tentative hello.
Door was open again. Hello, security.
After that, the situation becomes unclear, as the camera's microphone only picks up the sounds of running and banging as the guard desperately attempts to locate the source of the sound.
I don't know how the hell they keep opening these. Hello.
At this point, he still seems to believe that the sounds are coming from human trespassers.
Well, it sounds like humans. It sounds everything that the audio that I've heard so far, everything sounds like it's human. The hello back we heard from a small child's voice, it's either a child's voice or it's a female's voice. It doesn't sound like it's a full-grown male's voice. The slapping on the side of the wall, it reminds me of the sound of like an indoor swimming pool at a YMCA, like just like that material the side of the wall is made out of, like it's like what is that stuff? I don't know. It's like the inside of a swimming pool, but slapping that. It's like tile, some kind of, but it sounded like someone was just smacking with their hand on tile. It had that very slapping type sound. Like, it sounded like skin hitting a smooth surface, if that makes any sense. It didn't sound like it was something banging on it, like a hammer or a different tool, or it could have been any sort of like pipe issues where they're cracking or whatnot. It literally sounded like what a hand sounds like when it slaps something, and especially tile, which is what it looks like the walls are made of down there. Very creepy so far, and it sounded close too.
I don't know where the hell these people are.
Later in the night, the guard uploads a second video. This time, he claims to have seen someone standing outside the same mausoleum that he investigated earlier. He bravely heads inside once again, even though the building's lights are flickering on and off as he approaches.
No.
Things inside the building have gone from spooky to terrifying.
Okay, guys.
What is this?
I'm really not sure what's going on here.
On this trip inside, the camera picks up a blood-curdling scream inside the chapel. It seems to be screaming, "Get out."
I'm really not sure what's going on here.
The guard quickly flees
No.
when he hears this, but moves on to explore other parts of the building.
Nope. Nope. No. Nope. I almost called it at this point. If you witness something like that, if everything that's come to this point, you think you're dealing with just trespassers, and you get up to that point where these lights are flickering on, and you hear somebody screaming, "Get out," and you leave because you're scared, but then you go around continuing to search for other stuff. No. You know what you do at that point? You call your employer right now and be like, "There's some creepy stuff going on right now. I'm out." Get another guy down here if you want this place protected, but I am out. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to take this one back here a little bit because I want to hear that again because there's a couple audio cues we get here. It sounds like the voice that we're hearing, and I'm assuming this guy is just walking around with a cell phone, and I'm assuming that's what this is. Like, he doesn't have a video camera or whatnot. It's just a cell phone with a light on it, and he's just recording. But it sounded like when they said "get out," that the sound was coming from behind him, and it seems like from behind him is just like a glass door that would just lead out. It doesn't seem like the sound is coming from in front of him, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But I'd be freaked out with just the lights flickering, you know?
"Get out."
I'm really not sure what's going on here.
The guard quickly flees when he hears this,
Weird.
but moves on to explore other parts of the building. Inside the area
Why?
of the mausoleum that he visited earlier, he hears the eerie sound of a child singing "Ring Around the Rosie." Other users claim to have heard the voice saying, "There is no God here." These disturbing utterances seem to be the last straw for the guard as he quickly runs from the building.
I'm getting
Yeah.
In a final video, the guard returns to the mausoleum in the light of day to look around and hopefully find evidence to explain the night's eerie events in a less terrifying environment. Unfortunately, the childlike voice that terrified him the night before has not left the building. Inside, the voice greets him with a hello.
You sure there's nobody in here? Anybody in here?
The guard attempts to converse with the child after the voice makes a pitiful plea, asking the guard, "Can you help me?"
Hello?
He attempts to locate the child, asking questions, but is unable to find any evidence of the voice's source.
I can't see you. You're correct, so you need to come out, okay?
The video ends shortly after, leaving viewers to wonder what happened to the guard. Many believe that he quit his job after the harrowing night depicted in the footage.
Yup.
But his internet silence has left users with more questions
I'm
than
really
answers.
not sure what's going on here.
I don't know,
If you
man.
want more creepy
I don't know, man. This one, it's almost too unbelievable, right? It's almost too unbelievable. All the events that happened. This is last video here. I want to say BS on this one, and the fact that because he doesn't have much of an internet presence, that doesn't add any spookiness to it or anything. I don't think that has anything to do with anything. He might just not post, whatever. But no, this is I don't know, because the voice is so audible. You know, especially in the daytime when he's in this like kind of corridor area, and the angles that we're seeing is it seems like it's two hallways. I mean, but there are doors on either side. So when he's down one, maybe somebody could be sticking their head out and saying something. So there's definitely ways to fake this and fake it and fake it pretty easily. Honestly, we're not seeing any movements. We're not seeing any shadowy figures or anything. We're just hearing voices off camera. Okay. We're also hearing very audible voices off camera with ghost sightings and things like that. A lot of these videos that I've seen personally, it's been a stretch. It's been a stretch to hear a certain phrase from the ghost. Like they'll have to slow the audio way down, reverse it, or do something crazy to formulate what might be like an incoherent sentence. Like, oh, they just told me that like oranges taste bad or something like that, you know, just random stuff. But it feels like they're grasping at straws. This video feels like everything is almost too perfect and too much like in its perfect place here. Having this crystal clear audio, having the lights do that, the banging on the walls, all this stuff. These are all things that you can kind of do off camera, and it'll it'll look pretty real and it'll be pretty easy to do. A novice could do it. You don't need any editing techniques or any kind of like fancy movie camera or you know, any sort of advanced plugins or expensive equipment. You can do it with your cell phone, and I kind of think that's what this one is. One thing got me though. One thing it got me thinking is like when he went back in the daytime and he asked the child again, "Are you here?" They said hello, and when the child said, "Can you help me?" Like part of me kind of like thought for a second. I'm like, well, it's not dark anymore. You know, it's a daytime. I can see the light. Like there could be people around or whatever. Like I feel like part of me would almost want to have a conversation with that child and see what kind of help it would need. See what's going on if this is real. There are certain things in life that are too crazy that if you have that opportunity, as scary as it may seem, you might want to dig a little bit deeper. You might want to push a little bit further if you can just like be brave enough to make that first step to really try and have a conversation with a being like this. The things that you could learn, I mean, it'd be wild. But out of all these videos, a lot of them did seem, you know, very credible, except for especially the first one with the animals, with the dogs. That's movement you could teach your dog to do it, but it's a random trick to have your dog do. And the shadows looked good. There was no pixelization. The way the dogs interacted with the object, just how believable the scream was. The first video seemed to be the most real to me, and that's with the dogs. This one was definitely the creepiest, but that's just because there was the most stuff going on. I don't know, guys. I am thoroughly, at this point, creeped out. It's official. I'm creeped out. I don't even normally do creepy stuff. I don't like horror movies. I don't watch this stuff. But I'm fascinated with the paranormal. So I wanted to check this video out. I'm going to be doing more content like this going forward. So if you enjoy this sort of stuff, please consider liking and subscribing. And I guess I'm going to catch you out in the next video. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Have a great night, everybody.